All right, how's it going, guys? Mitch Cleary here. I'm here with my buddy Nick, and we're looking at a duplex that we locked up in the new year. Nick, what are we going to cover in this video? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so this is a cash flowing duplex. I'm working on, one of the tenants is out right now, so I'm working on the use. We're going to go check that out. But when Mitch and I were looking at this property, one of the most attractive things was the possibility of a laneway house or accessory dwelling unit in the back of the house. So I think we're going to cover that today too, right?
Totally. A play on the potential laneway house. We're going to look at how you turned over the tenants sort of organically here, had a beautiful upswing and a little bit of work to the units, how you increase your rent, and then some sort of creative workarounds you're doing and getting some excess value out of the garage in terms of some just partnerships you're building with some people who are interested in taking advantage of it. And yeah, we're going to look at basically how Nick took what was a deal that a lot of people passed up on. This one had sat on market for a while, and he turned it into a great property. So let's go check out the back. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the lot, one of the things I love most about this lot, and I think that, you know, it's 50 up front, but it's 150 deep, right? So it's a, you know, I think I've heard it so many times from some great real estate investors, you can't buy land. It's always better to have more land. Even if you can't do anything with it, just have it. So.
Yeah, zoning changes happen. You leave yourself open to the potential upside of what you can do with the land if you actually have it, right?
And even if you're just going to, you know, if you ever convert it back to like a single family or something like that, right? And it's just the potential of a larger yard, right?
Yeah. Being pigeonholed right into.
Exactly.
This one had the potential to be shifted back if you ever had.
Exactly. Yeah, it's zoned R2, but you can always go back, right? So. So we've got about 1,000 square foot garage right here. I mean, I literally can picture such an awesome little laneway house here, purpose built, beautiful little, and you know, still be able to have privacy. You'd still have enough driveway space. I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it on camera, but right across, like literally 10 feet from that side of the garage, you've got a major walking trail in Peterborough that goes all the way to downtown, bike, run, whatever. And then you see, we've still, even if I were to go right up on the property line, which goes a little bit further than this, you still have a whole bunch of privacy, right? You even put a little bit of a pad out here kind of thing. You've got more than enough parking.
So basically the potential that we saw in having this separate access, so 2 entranceways, and really the immediate upside of you planning to cash flow this garage. Coincidentally now you don't have to because the way your rents went on the other units. Exactly. But in our initial outlay and sort of our spreadsheet was that you were banking on getting, you know, $200 plus out of this garage as a rental, and now you've seemed to have struck a better arrangement where you're cash flowing just with the rent inside. And then do you want to talk at all about what's played out for you with the garage?
So the garage is just a funny story, and this is something you can't teach. This is just those little subjective decisions you got to make on any little business, right? So I was able to, if you notice, there's ample parking right here. I wasn't doing anything with the garage at the time. Renting it out, I'd have to update the security on it for liability reasons. So I focused on the inside, and then I was actually approached by a landscaper who needed to store trucks and a trailer, which you see.
He approached you? Was it an ad, or did you just because?
He literally approached me. I was here one day working on the property. He approached.
Shows the need for the space and this type of thing. Exactly. For other people looking at properties, like if you got
a garage, rent it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, honestly, yeah.
Like people are always looking. So, long story short, this guy now takes care of the property.
You got door knocked.
I got door knocked. Yeah, I got door knocked. It was awesome. It's reverse. It's great.
Yeah.
So he takes care. Like, I mean, there's some leaves that need to be done now, but he takes care of the leaves, the grass, the snow removal, and he wants to use the actual garage for the winter. So he's building me a whole new set of stairs and probably doing about $5,000 worth of landscaping work.
Yeah,
it's just a perfect deal. So I'm just totally hands-off investing with this one now. As long as you put good tenants in there, I don't have to do anything other than answer the occasional email. It's fantastic.
So talking about, before we dive into like the rents and the upshot that you had on the rents there, because I would say arguably you got more than I would have been comfortable guaranteeing you as a realtor at the point in time when we made the purchase. So the rents have been increasing relatively rapidly. You capitalized the upside by doing some relatively easy improvements. You want to talk about the improvements you did?
Sure, yeah. So I mean, I've done major renovations. Those are great for adding value, but something like this where you can, without getting too deep into the numbers now, where you can essentially just paint.
There's a lot of paint.
There's a lot of paint.
Fixtures, literally like painting fixtures black.
Yeah, like spray painting. Yeah, like I mean, again, if you just go in and make it look nice, and again, put a couple little succulents and take some good pictures and just advertise it and market it the right way. To think about the person you want in there and advertise it for them, right? Advertise 100%. It for how they would want to respond to it. And I mean, I was able to raise the rent $350 with a coat of paint, and I'm going to be doing the exact same thing upstairs. The rent's going to go up $300. I'm going to spend the next 4 days painting it myself. But
yeah, you attracted some good young professionals or correct me if I'm wrong. In this one down here, at least that was your target.
Yes. Exactly.
And you got what? As soon as you shot for 1850, and I thought I was going to get an email back like in a week, being like, Mitch, man, I got to drop it to 18. Like, what do you think? And you got what? 30 applications?
I got 30 applications. About 15 that I took seriously, and I had about 7 that came by, and I mean, it was hard turning people away, but I like to consider myself a half decent judge of character. So when I found the right person, I just settled in there. I don't want to mess around with people and put bad karma out there, so promised it to her, and she's been a fantastic tenant since. She's been in for 6 months, and I haven't had one issue with her. She's great.
Amazing. And then I guess to the age of the building, can you remember the exact age, Nick?
I think it's like
it's either late 18s or early 19s. It's right in around
1980.
Yeah, either way, turn of the century type. So we're coming into. We had a mix of types of plumbing and electrical. We did get a home inspection. We ended up having some galvanized plumbing, which was ballpark $5,000 ish. It was a give or take on what the repair was going to cost.
We were actually able to negotiate that, if you remember, with the seller, saying we called the plumbing out in the inspection. Another great thing to do. Shout out Paul. Is it Paul who does the inspection?
Galvin,
Paul. Paul Galvin, great guy.
Yeah.
So I know neither of us are any stranger to Century Homes and the issues, the foundation issues, the possible knob and tube, possible asbestos, possible galvanized plumbing. I think you and I did a fairly good job of figuring all that out. We missed the galvanized plumbing. It was about I think 10,000.
Got it on the home inspection.
Exactly, it was about 10,000, and then we actually negotiated that 50-50 with the seller.
Yeah, right. And the beautiful part is like in a standard, if this had been one that was 2 days on market, holding offers, if we're coming into multiple offers, odds are we wouldn't have been able to get that home inspection, but we strategically came to properties that were long days on market. Exactly. This one at that point I think had been 40 plus.
40 plus, I think it was almost 50 days.
So we were able to walk in and sort of obviously negotiate. It was listed arguably fairly high at the time, so we had a large gap to make up in our negotiations, but it allowed us to come in with some of the, like a home inspection, because we weren't in some crazy competition.
Exactly.
So something to be said for chasing properties that are just long days on market, because no matter what, if they got it up there, they do want to sell for some reason or another. So we were able to make it work.
Exactly. Now I think some of the reasons it was on market was, one, it was priced probably 15 to 25 high, right? We said 615 would have been the max, right? And it was listed for 650. It didn't present too well at the time. It was everything. The entire place was orange. Like, I'm not kidding. It was all like peach, like Georgia peach orange in there. And the rents upstairs weren't great, but I don't think people knew that the lady was moving out downstairs, right? So it was vacant on possession downstairs, which immediately that was a big plus, right? And I think that was a last minute decision for her. It was a couple weeks on the market before she decided to vacate. So basically there, we can segue in. You had minimal updating to do that shouldn't scare anybody away. You worked it into the deal. You did some painting and some small upgrades on the main floor. Your rent went from what? The previous rent was? So it went from 14 to 1850.
1850 inclusive, right? Like
no, plus. So they pay hydro, they pay the water, and they pay the internet. So the only thing I pay Yeah, it's the standard stuff, insurance, property tax. Like I don't touch the utilities.
Totally. And so quickly before we go up to the 1-bedroom unit, the rents, what the rents were and what you're hoping to get in that one.
So the rents were $1,200, and I think I'm going to push it and see if I can get 15.
15? You're going to try 15? Okay, because I know if I've heard. So we'll see.
14,
yeah, it was 14.
50,
No,
yeah,
but you got to try. Anybody who's experienced in the game knows you got to try high. If you burn a week and a couple ad dollars on Kijiji and you're not getting the response rate, you'll know right away. You drop it.
Exactly.
But you test the waters, right?
So here's just another little hint for anyone that's trying to do this. What I've actually done, and I didn't, I just learned this from Dan actually, is I put this up a month ago with just a picture of the house and a brief description saying, freshly painted, renovated 1-bedroom apartment, right on the bus route. Very, nondescript kind of ad, just a picture, and I'm still getting what I would consider fairly real and reasonable inquiries about it. So
so
just doing that due diligence, right? Exactly. And go onto Kijiji, go onto Facebook Marketplace, go to those places and just see what people are renting, and it's so super easy to tell. There's so much information out there.
Totally. So no, that's awesome. Well, I guess let's go check out that one bit and show us what you plan on doing with it. So
it's just a lot of paint. It's not that exciting up there, but yeah, let's go check it out. Okay, so real quick, just for everybody, so we've got a bathroom, full bathroom here, cool kind of old school
laundry in the bathroom, the
suite laundry, which is in both units as well. I always like having laundry in the units. It's just need be. This is they actually took the door off of here years and years ago, so this will be the living room. That's what they had it set up as last time as well. This would be the 1-bedroom. Again, tall ceilings, big character pieces, great big windows, and then you've kind of got your, cute little kitchen right here, right? So actually, this is the same countertop and setup as we got downstairs. Real funky, I know, maybe not for everybody, but I'm not changing it now. It all works perfectly fine. Storage over here. And I mean that's pretty much it.
So this is what I would consider just a good clean 1-bed in Peterborough. What do you plan on doing to it, Nick? What do you see as the value adds that are worth tackling? Totally.
So for me, everything with this and just with everything in business and even in life, everything's about the presentation of it, right? So I mean, if this is just presented better, I mean, if you guys came up and this was gleaming white and even the switch plates were white and not like old stained yellow kind of thing. Yep. Another little trick I like to do is I leave the light fixtures where they are. I just take the bulbs and the glass out and spray paint them black. So you can basically get a full new fixture. So boom, 1, 2, 3. There's 4 fixtures in here. That'll save me some money right there as well. This place is just going to get cleaned and heavily painted.
And a light stage, before you take the photos for the rental?
Light stage, I literally mean like indoor plants.
Which is not, for me, like you think about it, sometimes people, it just helps them understand how, visualize how they're gonna live in this space, and that it just builds a bit of a picture about what it can be. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. You're doing everyone a favor to take that extra step.
The only thing that I would say is I totally agree with this, just because I want to get it rented so fast, staging, getting all the furniture up this old school staircase and everything like that. I'm pretty good at painting pictures for people, so I actually play realtor here as well, obviously, right? Like I'll handle all the applications and everything, and I'll bring the people by, and I'll with a measuring tape, like you can fit this kind of couch here. There's a king size bed in there.
Yeah, you got to work it for sure. Yeah.
So, but other than that, honestly, just everything's getting a light sanding. All the trim's getting a light sanding, paint, and then again, just like little things like spray painting the light fixtures, changing out some face plates. That's it.
No, that's cool, man. Well, let's, I don't know about you, I'm standing up. Let's set these chairs down somewhere and let's talk about Peterborough. Yeah, so let's just take a bit of a backtrack, Nick, and remind everyone, how'd you end up investing in Peterborough, because you're not from here?
So I knew a lot of people that I respected that were from here, people that were connected, and actually the same people that introduced me to you. I don't really invest in places that I don't have anybody. I can't afford to invest in Toronto where I'm from, but I went to look for those secondary and tertiary markets that I had people that I liked and trusted, and a person such as yourself that not only you are in the game, but you also have the inspectors, the appraisers, the insurance people, the contractors, that you're going to be able to, once we built a relationship, which happened pretty quickly, you were able to help me, check the rest of those boxes, which made a very comfortable investing experience.
For sure. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. And so second to that, like second to the team, Peterborough also was kind of on your radar, just generally speaking. What were the biggest push-pull factors for you on this city other than the team?
Totally. So, I'm sure we've all, and everyone watching has done a ton of research on every different market, Hamilton, Sudbury, Perth, you name it. Peterborough just, it really was just a solid place. I felt like the cap rates were still good here. And again, we kind of got in just before things got really crazy.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, really. Yeah.
Outside of all the standard stuff, like right on the highway, you got the schools, you got the infrastructure, you've got the work here. I like just investing in anything close to water. Water and highway, you're never going to lose out on that. The gateway to cottage country, all that good stuff. But to be honest, it really comes back down to the team. If I can find good people in a good place, that's the situation right there. It's the same reason I've gone to Cornwall and other places I'm investing in is that place is good, but without
you have that comfort zone with the team. You only have
hand in hand.
You got leverage.
Exactly. But it's so handy. You can have great people in a shitty spot and not be able to do anything, or you can be in a shitty spot and have great people. But you need that combination of both.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. And then I guess total numbers wise, what did you hope to cash flow on a monthly basis or annual basis on this deal when you got it versus where you're at now?
Okay, so full disclosure, when I bought this place, I was in the research part of my real estate investing career for years up until this point.
Yeah, this was the
jump in. Yeah, cash flow, I can't even remember what I thought, to be honest. I just didn't know enough to really know. I obviously ran the numbers dozens of times, but I've run so many numbers since then. I can't remember what I'd hoped to get.
For sure.
Totally honest. What it is cash flowing now, it cash flows just under $1,000 a month.
Yep.
It actually, our debt service, the mortgage is about $1,700. It costs about $700 in just running this place. Overall it makes $40,000 a year, but cash flows just over $11,000 a year.
From my own experience, like analyzing a lot of properties in the last couple of years, it's just a straight up win because it's not easy. But I didn't think it was going to be that good up front, and that's something we talked about yesterday. Is the point that people are taking like snapshot market rents, like today and the here and now, and of course that's all you can really go off of. But it appears at this point in time that our rents are increasing at such a rapid rate that if you want to be competitive in this market and actually enter the market, and you feel like, because I'll be honest, I have several other clients that were looking for rental properties of they really had a similar basic search from what you had, but I was looking with them months prior, and then months later they still hadn't got anything because they never wanted to pull the trigger. And you took something that was just enough that it was able to work because it cash flowed, even if it was minimally at the front, you knew that it cash flowed, and then here everything's gone right that we could have hoped, and now you've got a beauty, right?
Exactly. So I'm making money with the cash flow, but also the equity is, the equity in this place is just amazing, right? If we went back and listed it, even before you guys got here, I was just quickly going through some of the comps in the neighborhood, which there aren't many of.
No.
And I think if we listed this place for the original price of $650, especially after this is done and after the secured rental in here, we'd get more than that.
Yeah, not that, and even off your rents alone, like your refi value, you're probably like you're approaching that. You're going to be approaching the BRRRR status before too long, right? Which is it's hard to actually find them. So that's the thing, is everyone's watched so much stuff that I get people email all the time. We want BRRRRs. I want BRRRR. I'm a BRRRR strategy, and it's like, so is everyone else. It's just very difficult.
If you want a BRRRR strategy, you can't just go to an agent and say I want a BRRRR. You have to do the BRRRR.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I want a BRRRR too. Give me one. Everyone, these guys dishing BRRRRs out? Come on.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, the first step of BRRRR is buy, and a lot of people just don't, because they're waiting for this monster like home run deal, and it's like, well, guess what? So are 3,000 other people that are cocked and loaded, ready to go with like no financing conditions and whatever. And like we talked about yesterday, there's REITs that are investing in single-family properties in cities like Peterborough. There's so much money crashing on these markets that you gotta not only be savvy, you've gotta just be willing to take the risk. Really, that's what it like.
Creative as well, right? Like,
creative, 100%, and willing to put in work. Like it's people keep looking for these cookie cutter, like such simple deals, and those ones don't exist.
Go buy a turnkey property, and
that's what they want. I want to buy a duplex that cash flows like $500 a month, and it's like if they were listed at those prices, they're gone in a day.
Or go to Oklahoma or Ohio or Indianapolis or something.
That's really the underlying message, I think, is I get people all the time, and here you are. You're if people could see the deal that you and the property and the amount of cash flow you're getting on it every month right now, I know that I have people that have been looking for over 9 months that would try and trade and be like, can I get that deal? And they could have had it, but they just, you know what I mean? They didn't like, it's getting the feet in the water, right? So
100% taking that initial dive, and it's scary. I mean, I've done it 2 more times. You start to work with other investors. I actually, in another video of mine, I misspoke, and I was like, yeah, you know, this will probably be a $70,000 renovation. I'm already at $100,000. So, you know, I mean, shit happens, and like, you know, I don't know what.
Yeah, that's one in Cornwall. You're in for 100K, and you thought you'd be in for 60. Yeah,
in for 60, and then now we're doing the floors, and then the sewer lateral, and now we're putting a full basement suite in, and you know, things just get. But like, the more like, you're never gonna find the perfect property, and if you do, good for you. You're never gonna find another one.
Yeah.
So just keep looking and make them, you know, make those properties perfect, or make them as good as they can be. You got to make that opportunity yourself, because everyone wants to BRRRR. If you can talk to Mitch about the B, but you got to figure out the rest of the R's.
I know, the rest of it is hard work, right? So 100%, man. We're in a massively inflationary environment. So the same thing where you had lots of construction work to do in the Cornwall deal, now the price of it is more than what you thought it would be. And then on this hand, you didn't have much work to do, and you didn't think your cash flow would be that great, but the rents have increased and the property values increased, so everything's inflating, and it's kind of like you got to take the risk and get in the game, and as long as you have that fundamental understanding and position that we're in an era of runaway inflation, and you understand that the name of the game is not to hold your money tight, it's to grab these life rafts that help you float with inflation, and that's leveraged assets. So yeah, totally. Well, thanks for doing it, Nick, man. Pleasure to be a part of this whole transaction. And
hey, come back when it's done. And if you know anyone looking in Peterborough for a 1-bedroom,
totally. And Nick's a new budding mortgage broker that's ambitious to help some people out. So I know there's lots of good resources through the McKeever channel. But Nick's hungry and looking to help anybody who's not getting the proper responses from whoever they're dealing with. So
yeah, again, it's, you know, always reach out. I invest in Peterborough, I invest in Uxbridge and Durham, and of course Cornwall and the surrounding Ottawa area. So if you're looking for anything, I'm always happy to talk real estate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Sweet.
Awesome.
How can they connect with you?
Follow me on Instagram at my buddy Nick.
My buddy Nick.
Yeah. That's it.
Is that it? Contact info? You want to give them any email address?
We can start there. Nick.hill@premiermortgage.ca. But just get if you're not an Instagram user, email me, or I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, you're the new school, the millennial guy. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Right on. Thanks a lot, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.